Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about evening and morning routines for bipolar disorder and for better sleep. I'm going to start talking about evening routines and then I'll get into morning routines. And the information I'm going to speak about comes from this book called The Depression and Bipolar Workbook, 30 Ways to Lift Your Mood and Strengthen Your Brain by Dr. Aiken. So starting with evening routines. An evening routine is important to help you sleep better. It can help you have a more restful sleep and can increase melatonin, readying you for sleep. Ultimately, it should help you relax, unwind, and slow your brain waves down. So there are lots of activities you can use for your evening routine. To start, you can use blue light blocking glasses to help regulate your circadian rhythm and filter blue light from screens. Dr. Aiken recommends wearing blue light blocking glasses at least 1 hour or even 30 minutes before bed. You don't want to wear them before 6 p.m. because that can flip your circadian rhythm in the opposite way. Blue light regulates your body's internal clock, so blocking it and filtering it out at night is ideal for getting better sleep, especially if you're looking at screens which emit a lot of blue light. The book recommends different types of blue light blocking glasses and gives suggestions for specific brands. I got these glasses from Amazon for around $20, and the way you can test if they block blue light is by pulling up the color wheel on your computer. And if you look through the glasses and the color blue looks gray, then you know that it's filtering blue light. You want to have glasses that filter at least 90% of blue light. For me, blue light blocking glasses, I didn't really believe in them before. I thought that they were a bit of a scam and I wasn't sure if they would actually help me. But they have been a real help in terms of making myself tired and getting to sleep at night. My family makes fun of me because they do look a bit silly, but I notice that as soon as I put them on, I start feeling tired and my brain does actually start slowing down. They make everything a warm amber color, and that, I think, makes me a bit tired and relaxes my eyes and makes me slightly more drowsy and ready for sleep. Another suggestion for an evening wind-down routine is having an evening playlist. Having an evening playlist that is relaxing and that you enjoy can help you wind down and get ready for bed. The book recommends a playlist of songs that you can choose from. There's one song in particular called Weightless by Marconi Union, which is actually proven to decrease markers of stress by 65%. So music can be a really amazing technique to help you relax and wind down in the evening. You also don't have to listen to lyrical music. You can listen to classical music. You can listen to different types of beats, lo-fi beats. It's really up to you, and trying to figure out what works for you is definitely part of the process of creating your own evening routine. Personally, I don't listen to music in the evening. I find music really stimulating and activating, so I prefer to use it in the morning. Instead, I prefer to just have silence in the evening. 1 hour before bed, I stop listening to music and stop looking at screens, just to help myself relax and to stop having so much noise in my environment. So really try it out for yourself and see what works for you. Another activity for an evening routine that has been really helpful for me is taking a hot bath. So ideally you want to take a hot bath an hour or two before bed, and the purpose of this is to lower your core body temperature, which will help you sleep better. You want to take a bath that is hot enough that you sort of break a sweat, but obviously not so hot that you scald your skin. You want the bath to be 10 to 30 minutes long. Be sure that you're not taking any sedating medication before the bath, and afterwards hydrate with a glass of water. If you're unable to take a bath, you can also soak your feet in hot water and get a similar effect. I have found that taking a hot bath has been so beneficial for me. I never used to take baths before, but taking a hot bath in the evening has been an extremely relaxing activity for me, and I notice that when I do so, I get such good quality of sleep. I sleep way deeper and I feel so much more rested in the morning. The book discusses the exact temperatures that your bath should be and also what temperature your core body temperature should drop to. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out for more details. Speaking about temperature, it's also important to sleep in a cool room. Activities you choose for your evening routine should be relaxing, meditative, boring, and help you deepen your sleep. Some activities include journaling, meditating, reading a boring book, or doing some light stretching. I like to read nonfiction before bed. I find that reading fiction keeps me up at night because I want to continue reading. You can also use aromatherapy to help you sleep better at night. I use a lavender essential oil, which I just put a little bit on my wrists at night, and this helps me associate the scent with going to sleep. Another crucial part of an evening routine is going to sleep and waking up at the same time every day. Making sure that you sleep and wake up at a regular time helps stabilize your mood and improve your circadian rhythm. It's really great for managing bipolar disorder because you're creating that routine in your life and ensuring that you get enough sleep while also creating regular rhythms. I set an alarm for my evening wind down routine so that I know it's time to turn off my screens, put on my blue light glasses, and start winding down with relaxing activities such as taking a bath, journaling, reading a nonfiction book. I then have an alarm for when I'm supposed to be in bed, and this helps me ensure that I'm going to bed at the same time every night. Because of this, I've actually developed a strong sleep drive where I go to sleep and get tired around the same time every day. And this has been amazing for me because I used to have such a hard time falling asleep at night, especially when I do stimulating activities in the evening, like socializing with friends, going to a concert, playing sports. I find it very hard to fall asleep afterwards because I'm so energized and stimulated. But having this wind down routine, particularly taking a bath and sleeping at the same time every night, has allowed me to actually fall asleep in the evening when I've had a lot of activities that are really awakening and energizing. For me, another important part of getting good sleep is tracking your sleep. I have a little binder that I use to track my sleep. I track the hours I've slept and I track when I fell asleep and when I woke up to ensure that I'm stabilizing the times that I fall asleep and wake up. This has been incredibly helpful for helping me manage my mood. I can tell when I'm getting into hypomania just by how much I've slept. If I check my sleep and I notice that I've been sleeping fewer than 6 hours, I can usually be pretty sure that I'm going to be experiencing more hypomanic symptoms. I used to find it really difficult to tell when I was heading to hypomania, but by tracking my sleep, I can tell very accurately whether I'm starting to head in that direction. In order to track my sleep, I have a watch that I use, and this is not sponsored by anyone, but I just wanted to recommend it because I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or a Garmin or Oura Ring. So this watch is actually called a Mi Band, MI, and I got it for $50 on AliExpress. It is incredibly accurate. It tracks when I fall asleep, it tracks how long I've slept for, it can track when I take naps, and it doesn't track when I'm awake lying around in bed, unable to fall asleep, which is incredible. I don't really use it for the sleep score or for checking the different levels of sleep, whether it's deep sleep or light sleep, because I don't know how accurate that is. But I find in terms of tracking the length and time of my sleep, it's very useful, and it's helped me so much in managing my mood and being aware of when I'm heading into hypomania. I would highly recommend either tracking your sleep with a watch or tracking your sleep just by writing it down every night. Or you can do both, which is what I do because sleep is so important for me and for managing my mood and energy. If you are unable to sleep because of hypomania or mania, this book also suggests using dark therapy as a means of regulating your sleep and mood. Dark therapy is when you immerse yourself in darkness, so a room dark enough that you can't see your hand in front of your face. And by doing this, you can actually calm hypomania and bring yourself into a more stabilized mood. The book goes into detail about the different steps to follow in order to use dark therapy effectively. You want to immerse yourself in darkness for the amount of time that you would regularly be asleep. I've been using this for the hypomania that I've been experiencing. When it's time for me to go to bed, if I'm unable to sleep because of hypomania, I put on a sleeping mask and I stay in the dark until it's time for me to wake up. Sometimes I find that just by doing this, I fall asleep from being in the darkness. So it's an extremely helpful strategy for managing your mood if you find that sleep is difficult to get. Those are my tips for an evening wind down routine. I can't emphasize enough how important sleep is for bipolar disorder. It's my number one warning sign for an oncoming mood episode, and it's the number one thing that helps me regulate my mood after medication. If I don't get enough sleep, my mood is terrible, my energy is terrible, and I'm walking through the day just blundering through feeling awful. So I prioritize sleep above everything else. I hope this evening wind down routine gives you some ideas as to what to include in your own wind down routine, and I highly encourage you to play around and try different things to see if it helps you. Now I'm going to get into a morning routine and what to include in your morning routine. To start, you want to ensure that you have what is called a brisk awakening. That means you get up out of bed as soon as you're awake and try to do activating and energizing activities. So sort of the opposite of what you would do in your evening routine. You want to make sure that you get out of bed quickly in the morning and stand up straight away. This will help turn up your nervous system and help regulate your circadian rhythms. In this book, it's recommended to implement a brisk awakening for at least 1 to 3 weeks to see benefit. The benefits will continue to accrue for 3 to 6 months afterwards. The longer you do it, the more used to it your body gets, and the better you feel in the morning. Another suggestion, if you're having trouble waking up in the morning, is using a dawn simulator. So a dawn simulator gradually increases the light in your room, simulating a sunrise. This can help with sleep inertia, that grogginess that you feel in the morning, and can help you wake up better and feel more rested because you're waking up gently. When you wake up in the morning, the things you want to include in your morning routine are things that will create faster brain waves for you. So they should be energizing, they should be exciting and enjoyable. Again, this can include having a morning playlist to wake you up. I like having a morning playlist because I find music very energizing, and listening to music in the morning helps me get through my morning routine and just makes me feel more awake. When you start your day, you want to ensure that you're waking up at a regular time. This helps stabilize your circadian rhythm and helps you build that routine so that you naturally wake up at the same time every day. I find that now that I sleep and wake up at the same time every day, my body has gotten used to it. I used to find it really difficult to wake up in the morning, but since establishing these routines, I've been able to wake up at the same time every day without feeling so groggy and tired. Ideas of what to include in your morning routine are having an alarm and not pushing snooze on it, opening your curtains, turning on the lights, washing your face with cold water, getting dressed, showering, starting your day with food or water or caffeine that you use wisely, by which I mean you don't drink it too late into the afternoon in a way that will disrupt your sleep. There's lots of things to choose from. It's really about trying to find what works for you and what is actually enjoyable and what helps you stay awake. Something else you can try in the morning is, again, aromatherapy. You can use scents that help stimulate you and are awakening, like mint and lemon. There are so many other tips in this book for morning and evening routines. I highly recommend checking it out if this is something that interests you. It's also important to talk about what not to do when establishing a routine. So for an evening routine, you want to make sure that you're avoiding naps in the afternoon and caffeine in the afternoon. You want to also make sure that you're not doing activities that are very stimulating, such as arguing, worrying about problems. You want to make a calm and relaxing environment to go to sleep. This includes making sure you're not watching too much entertainment or TV before bed, or shopping and doing activities online that are really engaging. Some tips that I have for implementing a morning routine are to ensure that you're not trying to be perfect. This is about exploring, being curious, and trying to see what works for you. It's not about having a super productive routine where you wake up at 5 a.m. and do a workout if that's not something that is enjoyable or energizing for you. Lifestyle changes are difficult to implement, so be patient with yourself if this is taking time. Don't expect results right away, but this is something that you want to work on long term to help improve your mood and energy. It can take weeks to months for this to work, so keep trying and try not to get discouraged if things aren't working out the first time. You might have to try numerous activities to find what works for you. Finally, I want to end with, why even bother doing all of this? It sounds like a lot of work. Well, I would say from personal experience, implementing a morning and evening routine have been incredibly helpful in stabilizing my mood. I find that my sleep is so much better having done this, and it doesn't have to take a long time. My morning routine is super simple. I wake up, I brush my teeth and wash my face, and then I drink a big glass of water. That's it. That's my brisk awakening, and that's what helps me feel energized and ready for the day. It doesn't have to be super complicated or very long. It's just about having this habit of taking care of yourself in the morning and night so that you are best setting yourself up for a stabilized mood and a regular circadian rhythm. Because we have a mental illness, it might take a little extra to get us going and to keep us well. We deserve the self-care and we deserve to feel well. I want to leave you with a quote that I read that states, "We must take self-care seriously to make the most of our lives." The reason why I bother to do these things is because taking self-care seriously allows me to live my best life. I find that medication helps me manage my mental illness, but in order to feel well and protect my mental health, I have to implement these lifestyle changes. It may seem hard at first, but I assure you once you get going, you'll realize the immense benefit and it'll start paying off and you'll feel motivated to continue doing it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it inspired you to maybe try out your own morning and evening routines. If you already have activities that you do in the morning and in the evening to help you feel energized or to wind down, I would love to hear it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.